Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Welcome to another Getting Projects Done with me, Chris. I don't have the face cam going today because I broke it. Oh, I already broke my freaking model. I am working with my wet palette, so I will not have my face cam. So you do not get to look at my face, my mug. You don't get to see my mug today. I don't know, just because. And yeah, so we are going to continue our work. It's been a while since I've streamed. I have not touched any of my projects since I went on a bit of a break. I was basically out of town, visiting family and such, out of town. And yeah, so we were working on the big body of this fellow, where we started working, I should say. And yeah, so we're going to continue on with that. But I want to finish off work on this model in Dastra. Actually, let me fix my cam. My cam? Kim, hey. Sorry, I'm just fixing my cam here so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Well, I can see what I'm doing, but you might not be able to see what I'm doing here. Let me see here. Yeah. Let's adjust this. Oh, there we go. Can we get a little better? Yeah, there we go. That's fine. That's good enough. Just a little bit of an adjustment. So yeah, I'm going to finish off this model. Yeah. I'm going to take some pretty pictures of it. Really the only thing I've got left to do on this figure is doing this rim. And that is it. So I'm just going to quickly do that just to get it out of the way. I'm going to use the atypical Steel Legion drab to achieve this. And I'm just going to paint this real quick, just to get it off my desk, and we can finally say we are done with this figure. And of course, pretty pictures to follow as well, because, you know, all about the pretty pics. It makes me sound kind of shallow, doesn't it? He's all about the pretty pics. It's just all about him. So yeah. Oh, right. Well, I'm not turning on my other cam yet because, yeah, I still have it covered up. But yeah, that's the plan. Mainly reason why I am busting out the wet palette is because, well, working on the larger surfaces of the body, I basically want to make sure that I am, utilizing as much paint as possible. And not simply just, piling more and more paint onto my work surface here. Disco, what's up? What's up, Disco? Whenever I read Disco, I always think it's another Disco. It's another person who goes by that handle. Anyway, so I'm just grabbing a little bit of Steel Legion drab. No dilution. Basically, we're just going to start slapping this on. And so as I do this, I'm just basically kind of skimming the edge. I'm not worried if it's not even on the first coat, because I know I'm going to have to apply more than one coat. And then we can finally be rid of this project. Rid of it. I had considered using another color for doing this rim, but meh. We'll go kind of the default. Plus, too, I think the brown kind of works nicely with the rest of, the model. Keeps it all kind of grounded, I suppose. a moment to dry. What's the comments? What is the comments? Comments being chilling, painting, smoking, working, but I'm in town. Cool. Those wings look awesome. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's really straightforward. You know, if you were watching the Getting Project Done, how I did this all, it's no mystery on what I did. And yeah. But I am looking forward to taking some pretty pictures of it. I have a couple ideas of how I want to photograph this. So yeah, I'm going to try something really fun. Not try. I've done it before, but I'm curious. I don't think I've tried it on a model this shiny. So I'm going to see how it looks. Kim. Me too. The chilling, smoking, painting part. Doing all the hobgoblins from Dominion. Hoof. Disco agrees. That's nice. That's nice. All right, I'm going to use my hairdryer. Screw it. We're going to speed this up a bit. Just a bit. Initially, I was thinking of leaving the rim black, but no, I think I like it with the default color these days. It's the convention these days, right? It's Steel Legion drab is the color of choice, as it were. It would appear these days. All right. Now this layer, I want to get a little bit smoother. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So basically I'm just, following along, putting another layer down. Now this particular color is a base color, and so it covers very, very nicely in just a couple coats, which is really nice. Might have to lay another layer down, just cause. But that final layer, I probably will thin it down, just so it's nice and smooth. And only because going through that extra step like that is just because I am going to be photographing this, and yeah, I want it to look good, because painting to the eye and painting to the camera are two entirely different things, right? As I'm sure many of you know. I mean, it's not bad right now, but we can make it better. We can make better. Disco, white background or light at least. Those images with the black backgrounds all the time, it's like they're hiding something. Yeah, yes, I suppose. I mean, if you are familiar with how I've been photographing models lately, it is a very dark background I use. I mean, like if okay, just to give you guys a quick idea. If I use, say, blue, right? Kind of like the table here. I mean, you can see how it really does shift all the color, right? And I do have, I think, a gray as well, but no, I usually like black because it gives you a really nice contrast, and because of the nature of this model on how light is going to play on its surface, I want to be quite dark so that all the really bright points really, really stand out. And then, of course, you know me, I'm going to bust out the pretty lights. So, yeah. And in fact, there might be some smoke. Some smoke might be involved. Not smoke, but smoke. Fog. I should say fog, not smoke. It'll be foggy. we're going to grab a little bit more Steel Legion Drab. Just a bit. Just a touch. And this time we are going to grab a little bit of water. Fairly generous amount. Thin that way down. Way down. Yeah, there we go. And so this final layer, and this is oftentimes what I do for a lot of models, especially laying a smooth base coat, is I will lay like a couple, normal coats, and then I'll finish off with a really, really thin layer, just to smooth out the overall finish. Now, usually, I've laid quite a bit down, quite a bit of water in this actually, but that's fine. Usually, it dries really, really silky smooth. Silky. And in fact, we probably can do another layer of this as well. Oop, jeez. Finger slipped. Whoop, finger slipped. Whoop, finger slipped. It is really, really thin. If we were to apply this right on top of the black, oh yeah, it would have looked like the paint was non-existent. But this is just one of the few ways in which I go about getting a nice, smooth finish on projects. You can see it looks really, really slick. Wait. Oh, hail. There he is. What's happening? Oh, shit, I'm muted. Hold on. Hey, what's happening?
I didn't know that SkumDrekk has wings.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you can see it's, it's a little runny. That's okay. It's just a thin layer. I'm going to give it a couple moments to dry. I'm going to use my hair dryer to speed this up a bit. Hale, I know you're talking, but I can't quite hear you. All right. Knocking all sorts of stuff over. Nice. All right, one last layer. Kim is saying you need to turn your volume up a bit, Boop. And, Kim says. No, Boop's not going to talk.
I do.
Were you playing something?
Output volume. Does this work? Am I louder now?
Yeah, you're a little clearer now. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I'm at output volume 200%.
Jeez. Cranking it to 11.
Yeah, I can't go any louder.
There we go. And I think that's it. That's all it needs. Get a nice smooth finish. Disco, LOL, a little foggy. Hotbox rooms were called foggy when I was a kid. Kim blowing out a bong hit over the model makes great fog. Chris can't dodge the smoke references. No, apparently not. Apparently. Alrighty. So that's all finished. Nice and smoothish. Happy with that. And yeah.
Chris, it's a very good SkumDrekk.
It is, right? It's the wings and the swords and yeah. It's shiny. Alright, she's done. We're calling her done. She's done. She's officially done. So, now, where to begin on the SkumDrekk? Oh, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do? I guess really we should probably just start work on the flesh, right?
You do the biggest part. I don't know.
I think I'm going to work inside out. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Does that make sense? I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of? Sorta? Alright.
Kind of.
Kinda sorta. Not really. Alrighty. So, I've got a fresh wet palette already made up. And of course, I got my palette crinkling on me. Paper crimpling? Crinkling? Kerpinkling? It's kerpinkling on me. Man. There we go.
So, Chris, how was your holiday?
All right. You know, visiting family and such, and you know, all that jazz. You know the expression, you can't go home again? Or something like that? It's kind of what it's like sometimes. You just can't go home again. I'll leave it right around there-ish.
Never heard that expression.
No, you can't go home, or something along those lines. I can't remember how it exactly goes. Anyway, all right. We're going to get things started with some Vulpus Pink. Pretty sure that's what I used, right? I think. Kind of. Yeah, that's what it is. Give it a mix. Did you miss me while I was gone?
Totally. No, not.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed in that. I was kind of hoping like, oh, we were lost without you, Chris. Where were you? Disco, visiting family is always an adventure. Looking forward to it, but then when you're in it, you're like, this sucks. Yeah, well, it doesn't. It didn't suck. Just, you know, it's just drama. Just drama. Anyway, all right. I don't. Man, that was like a while ago. What did I do for this? I think I did 2 layers of Vulpus just to establish the tones, and then
I'm pretty sure you just did this.
I just painted it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Dipped it.
Oh, dipped it. Might have. It does sound like something I would do.
Totally.
I am going to grab the technical medium. I'm going to slap a drop onto my palette. Yeah. Throw a drop of Vulpus. And we'll...
Yeah, Chris, since you were obviously suffering from amnesia, you paint all your models using the dip method in case you forgot.
Oh, sweet. That's easy to remember. All right, we're going to mix up a big old batch. I'm taking a pretty generous amount. And I already threw 2 drops onto my palette of medium. Of course, the water is also going to thin this out more as it wicks through the parchment paper.
I got a surprise in the mail while you were...
Mail order bride.
No.
Oh.
So I backed Relic Knights from Soda Pop Minis like 5 years ago. the first wave of the Kickstarter showed up at my door.
Oh, nice.
Completely forgot about it. Kind of was like, whatever, I guess, you know, it's gone. You know, and then 5 years later, sitting on my doorstep, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, that's all right.
I mean, better late than never, but it was just like, completely forgot about it. It was like Christmas.
Yeah, maybe their motto is better never or never late than. No, fuck, I can't talk.
Better late than never. Maybe that is their motto.
Better never than late.
What?
It is tempting to hit the whole limb in this color. I don't
Since
think so.
I backed the Kickstarter, there's like a crap ton of like bonus minis that I gotta sort through and find out which ones I want, which ones I don't care about.
Sounds like you got to make some hard choices.
Nah. If it's for a faction I play, I keep it. If it's not, it's like gone. But it's the first wave. There's, you know, gradually releasing everything, and which is nice. So. Also got a couple minis from their Way of the Fighter board game. And right now I'm trying to figure out how to get this Muay Thai lady that offer like little like gate vent thing, because it's set up for a slotted base, but the base she came with is not slotted, so I'm trying to figure out where exactly like her foot ends and where the little gate she's standing on starts. Other than that, I got the Imperial Fist 3rd edition captain sitting on my little table, trying to figure out what colors, if I want to paint him. He's going to be painted 90s, early 2000s. So he's either going to be that really bright, like cartoony yellow for Imperial Fist.
Oh, that's
or
all right.
He's going to be painted in Fist. But I'm not sure which one I want to paint now.
Sounds cool.
Because he's the Fist specific captain, so his Aquila has a fist instead of the eagle head. He's got a fist on his shoulder, another fist on his knee. He's got a powered fist. There's fists everywhere.
I may have seen a few movies like that.
Way of the Fist. Way of the Drunken Fist.
Way of the Drunken. Hey, I like that. Do an entire.
There used to be it was like a D&D meme or something, being a monk and then like making your monk character like a drunkard. It was like Way of the Drunken Fist or something.
I dig it.
Here you go. New Imperial Fist successor. The Drunken Fist.
Yeah.
They're more concerned with arguing amongst themselves over, you know, if a lager is better, or a lager is better than a stout, or if an IPA is better, which craft brews in the galaxy are the best, than following the Codex Astartes. That'd be a funny little chapter, actually.
Yeah, it would.
You could just take the Imperial Fist and put a mug of beer in his hand. And that'd be their icon. Don't know what color they would be.
What's the color of ale?
Well, okay, so of ale or just beer in general? Because like if you say beer, well then there's like a whole bunch of like yellow browns that you could go with. So. It would be a yellow, like a very dark yellow, where Averland Sunset would be like your highlight, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, right now I'm deciding if I want to paint this guy as a Crimson Fist or an Imperial Fist.
How about an Imperial Crimson Fist?
Wouldn't I just be an Imperial Fist? How would this go on the base? I don't know. Like that. Could leave it up to chat. Ask chat. Go. Should I paint a Crimson Fist or Imperial Fist?
I think Imperial Crimson Fist. I'm still voting for that.
It's not even on the ballot. Not even in the election. It's the equivalent of voting for Harambe. Actually, no. But yes. Actually, I just got an idea for this Muay Thai lady. I could do the base. Like she's in a dojo, so like a wooden floor. I think I might do that.
Hey, you know what you should do?
Yeah, what?
Like a wooden base, like it's in a dojo.
No way.
That's what I was just thinking. I think that would be really cool if you did that.
Can't tell if you're being facetious. Like,
I'm being an asshole. I'm being an asshole.
I'm sitting there like,
It's quite the plan. Yeah. Kim, it's a reference to how we only remember the good stuff from back then and not all the fighting that actually happens. Yeah, exactly. Disco, fighting and drama. It's the same at my folks' house when the family gets together. Crazy, but it's the only time to see some of these characters. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hear you. I mean, we can always pick our friends. We can't pick our family.
unless you consider your friends family.
True. True. That is a option. Do you paint much by contrast? Like using contrast paints?
I don't have. Oh, I was gonna say I don't have any contrast.
Oh no? Oh, okay.
I have one pot of skeleton horde, and I don't use it to paint my skeleton. I use it for like that very like bleach blonde hair.
Okay.
I use that as like a shadow.
Ah, yes. That's a good use for it.
You know, a good use would be using it to paint, my 100-something skeletons. But I decided I'm going to paint those all to a dumb high tabletop level thing, because I hate myself.
Because life's just too easy for you?
Yes.
Yeah. It's on easy mode, man.
My GW manager says, like, I know you talked about contrast and how you wanted to use it, you should use it. And I was like, yes, but I like making things hard for myself.
Yeah. Want a challenge, for fuck's sakes, right?
like that. I am too lazy to switch streams or whatever, and go buy contrast paint. I say this, and I just bought like 3 or 4 stupid colors from well, they're not stupid paints. They're really good paints, but the reason I bought the Turbo Dork paints was a dumb reason.
Why'd you buy them?
Well, Let Them Eat Cake. Awesome name.
I concur.
Lunar Eclipse was really cool color, and I want to paint some when I get around to having free time and no projects on the table. I want to paint some Stormcasts in that Lunar Eclipse color and call them the Lunar. Was it the Lunar Hammers? I think I said. And then Bubblegum Crisis, because Sailor Moon Space Marines is funny and it needs to happen.
I concur.
I might actually, in the future, kind of like buy a couple minis, base them in that contrast spray stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and just sit there with some contrast paints. I might not paint a whole army with them, but a couple of minis just to kind of figure out like, this is the new thing. Everybody's making these, contrast paint came out. Not everybody's making their own like contrast paint.
Well, sure.
So just kind of like get a feel for it.
Yeah, I seen who is that? Army Painter? They're doing one?
Yeah, they're doing one. Scale 75 did theirs. I didn't think the Scale 75 ones were that great.
No, I never tried them.
I like their metallic paints.
Yeah.
About it. I mean, some people like their base paints. They're too matte for my taste. I did not care for their, I don't know what they called their contrast thing. Look it up right now.
Potion or something? Kim, what did they call their paint? Kim knows. Kim picked up a set, I think. Put Kim on the spot. Kim, what were those Scale 75 contrast paints?
They're just called Instant Color.
Oh, Instant Color? Okay.
Instant Color and the little, like, branding for Instant Color is like a little potion bottle.
Oh, okay. I thought it was called a potion or something like that, but what do I know?
I mean, I'm sure some people really like it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But my painting style, like, if I get these, I'm going to use them like inks and, shades and stuff. And I'm like, at that point, I have paints and shades. So,
Right.
I mean, there are some cool colors, though, like Corrupted Stamina. It's a really cool green. But... and who knows? I might get a couple contrast, get a couple of whatever Army Painter's coming out with, get a feel for it, and if I don't like it, well, I only bought 2 or 3 pots, and then if I like it, get it more, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, personally, I mean, I really enjoy contrast paints, mainly because they are kind of like how I'm painting this figure right now. It's kind of how I like to paint these days. I don't really paint too often in a traditional sense where, you lay a base coat, you do the shade wash, and then you begin, laying highlights down and, all that kind of stuff. I like to just start laying color and start blocking it and, start figuring out tones and then, going from there.
It might be that I'm just so ingrained in the old-fashioned way of painting minis that it's really hard for me to, like, switch.
Yeah, same. I mean, yeah, because contrast paints, it is a different way of painting, right?
I mean, not saying that it is necessarily like a ground, because people were kind of doing things like this with inks and stuff for like ever. But,
yeah. Yes, 100%.
but it's definitely a paint line where they came out and promoted that kind of painting where, you know, you do your stuff beforehand and then come in with your really, really thin stuff to, you know, bring it all together.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, I just love just creating subtle transitions, and contrast paints are one way of going about, you know, creating these very interesting values on a surface. Just because they're transparent, you know, it's just a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I know there's plenty of people out there, you know, it's crap, it's too expensive, blah blah blah, you know. Yeah, I get it, but I still enjoy it.
I'm not worried about money. If I'm buying something for my hobby, it's for my hobby, and my enjoyment is I will pay whatever it gets to get that little bit of enjoyment. So.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
I always liked that expression. Can't take it with you.
True. What's the point of making money if you can't enjoy spending it?
Yeah.
I mean, if
I'm not saying, you know, buy minis and go into debt, but what I am saying.
But if you have to,
if I have the available funds on hand, I'm going to buy something.
Yeah.
Forge World still hasn't shipped my freaking Horse Boys. It's been like 2-3 weeks now.
Send them a message. Say, hey, boys, WTF.
Oh no, October 1st. Oh yeah, no, that's 2 weeks. I'll give them till I think there was a shipping delay, but I'm not shipped within 20. Okay, so it should ship tomorrow. Doesn't ship tomorrow, the 22nd. I'll give them a little email.
Kim says speed paints. Oh, that's the Army Painter one. Yeah, the speed paints. I like the instant potion paints for scale color. They are not as hard colors as contrast and give you much more room to work in than contrast. Kim, I've seen some of the videos of Army Painter speed paints, and they look better than contrast, more consistent. Interesting. I also like the antithesis, Greek for contrast, for war colors. 2 great paints. Oh, antithesis.
Yeah. Contrast has been out for at least a year.
Contrast paints? About 2 years.
Yeah, about going on 2 years. So I feel like I don't really want to say competition because I don't know. I don't think anybody's really in danger of their paint companies going out. Well, I don't know. Maybe, but I think, you know, 2 years since that big contrast push, everybody's kind of had time to figure out how to get there. Do it better, I guess you could say. But I have played with the scale stuff, and I didn't get any good coverage out of it.
No?
Well, I shouldn't say good, or not good. It was okay, but I felt like normal contrast covered better. But the Army Painter stuff, what I looks like it covers, like if you're really, you know, just doing that, you know, priming like a bone color, and then doing just, you know, like a squig. I don't know, like a squig, and you're just running that red stuff over. It does look like Army Painter's just going to be good at just getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
From the pictures I've seen, I haven't played with it myself.
No, I haven't either. I haven't seen what it's like. I haven't watched any media on it or anything like that, so I have no idea what people are saying about it.
I have used the scale stuff, and at least for what I would use it for, which is getting, you know, stuff done, which I never get stuff done anyway, so it didn't cover to my liking, I guess I could say. But
No.
The Army Painter stuff, if the pictures I've seen have been truly like one slathered on coat, I might pick some up just to get stuff done. Because I like things to look nice, but the most important thing is to get stuff done.
Right.
Because that pile of gray is just getting bigger.
Well, quit goofing around.
I'm not goofing around. I'm putting together the big pile of gray. So I can...
Come on, man. Kim, that instant potions don't cover with a heavy pigmented color, and if you want a brighter color, add another layer. Is why I like them. Interesting. Yeah, I've never used the Instacolor or, well, the new Army Painter one. I mean, you know, Army Painter is a fine company. I like a lot of their products. I've used their paints before. I know many people will have strong opinions of their paints as well. Doesn't really factor into my opinion.
I have lukewarm, strong opinions.
Lukewarm, strong opinions.
I have strong opinions except for a few colors that I actually really, really like from them.
True, yes. Yeah, there's a few colors that are not as strong. I mean, the last time I was playing with them, what the hell was it? Was it the black? One of the colors. Yeah, it wasn't, you know, awesome.
I'm not a big Army Painter fan, but the other side paint set, there's 2 paints in there, and they're named after like their side paint set. I want to bring up the colors. They're named after vices, and I'm trying to remember what colors.
Vices?
Like, you know, like greed, envy, etc.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find a picture of the paint set, because there's 2 colors in there I really like, and I'm too lazy to get up and go find the colors in my, like, bin of paint. So I'm just, like, scouring the internet, probably spending more time than it would take to, you know, stand the fuck up and go over there and look.
Right. Okay, speed paints from Army Painter are not coming out before 22. Oh no? And I like Army Painter except the main War Paints line. Interesting. Disco, who is going to check out the new Dune film? Oh, I'm going. Tickets are already bought. I'm going Friday. Me and my boy. My boy. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to Dune for a long while.
Since I really like the colors in this paint set, I probably should buy another paint set, because the colors I like are exclusive to that paint set.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so I like the red ink tone, but they make that, whatever. Okay, Envy and Gluttony are the 2 colors I really like in there. But I like the whole set. But they're all named after
the 7 Deadly Sins.
7 Deadly Sins, yeah. But Envy and Gluttony are... This Gluttony is like a really, really nice, like, purplish red. I don't know what actual color that would be on the color spectrum. And I use that for some of my vampire stuff. And then Envy, I use in my orc skin workup, where I have like 7 different greens. Not 7 different colors, 5 of which are like different greens. No, somebody does not like this paint set. for the paint set is somebody just saying you could just mix these colors. Oh yes, you could just mix these colors.
Yes, you could, because all it takes is just Liquitex Flow Aid or a similar product.
Technically, just use the 3 primary colors.
Yes. So they're not incorrect.
Colors for convenience. I don't like the main Army Painter line, but sometimes there's like paint sets they make for board games. Sometimes I really like the colors in those.
Now, when you go to your local shop, are you perusing paints often? Like, ooh, that's a nice color, and you know.
Okay, so my local shop, i.e., the closest shop, is a GW. So no, I'm not perusing the paints because I know what paints they have.
Right.
If I go to another store, yes. I will, if it's an independent non-GW store, I will go and look at the paints. Because sometimes I see a color I really want.
Right.
Which is how I ended up with the paint set from Army Painter. I was like, ooh, I like those colors. But I won't just peruse the paint section at physical stores. If I go to like an online retailer, like a box store, not like a box store, like you know how like some brick and mortar game stores have a website you can buy stuff off of?
Yep.
If they sell their paint on their website, I might browse their paint on their website.
Gotcha.
I'm not a brand loyalist. I only get GW paints because of the sheer convenience that there is a GW store about 15 minutes away. So if I need, I shouldn't say 15, it's like more like 20 minutes away, but it's a very short drive away for paint. So that's the only reason why I continuously buy GW paint, because it's so close. Like, oh, I'm out of a blue. Okay, I'll just go to the store, the GW store, and get a blue paint.
Right.
It costs more than Vallejo, yeah, but the sheer convenience of it's 15 minutes away. I don't have to wait on a mailman or anything.
Yeah. Now, the whole debate of paint lines and shit like that, it's always the same argument, and the same points raised about one paint line over another can be easily said about one paint line over another. You know what I mean? Like, it's
like, I don't have 4 colors. They have some cool colors. Their dropper bottles, the little puncture symbol, really cool. I do want to try out their nostalgia line, because apparently they make a pretty close to freaking Goblin Green. And I'm gonna bring Goblin Green bases back. I'm gonna do it.
do it.
That's what I'm gonna do with these Imperial Fists or Crimson Fists, whatever I paint this guy. He's getting Goblin Green base, and anybody I paint to go with him's getting a Goblin Green base, even if they're primaries. I don't care. I have no brand loyalty. It's do you make pretty colors? Yes or no?
Yep.
If the answer is yes, then I'll buy your paint. If the answer is no, then I won't buy your paint.
Exactly. So far, I'm liking where I'm going with this.
It's kind of the same thing with painting accessories. It's like, does it actually make my life easier, or is this like some vaporware?
It's all vaporware.
Well, I mean, a wet palette makes my life easier.
It is.
But I'm not buying no $40 wet palette.
I mean, I don't bemoan anybody for buying one.
Oh, no, I don't either. It's just I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, same. I mean, like, I made my wet palette for $4, but I'm not out here going, you know, you're an idiot because you bought a wet palette. You know,
No.
because that doesn't really help anybody.
The most I spent on a wet palette was like $8 because I bought What That Masterson wet palette. And the only reason I bought that was because I was too lazy to go to the store to get a Tupperware, like a little Tupperware container that was bigger than the one I was using for a wet palette. And I was like, I'm too lazy. I want to go on the South American River website. I heard somebody refer to Amazon as that. I was like, I want to start calling Amazon the South American River website. So the only reason I have a master, is it a master? That's, yeah, I think, whatever, it's the Stay Wet. It's that white plastic, like, one that comes with that yellow sponge that everybody throws out. Because I was too lazy to go to the store. Did you see any new releases that got you excited?
Nope.
Or nothing? Nope.
Well, I mean, other than which I already picked up is the Aeronautica. That was about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you weren't working on that today.
I was toying with the idea, but I want to kind of try and stick with getting this guy done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we may switch between this guy and some other stuff because, yeah, I am kind of getting the bug to start working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Question being, though, what should I paint the Space Marine flyers? I'm
Don't
thinking.
you really like the Howling Griffins?
I was thinking Howling Griffins would be kind of cool. Yes, I do like them.
You kind of flip flop between Howling Griffins and the Crimson Fist.
I flip flop between a lot of things.
Well, of Space Marine chapters that you bring up that you go, I like that Space Marine chapter, it seems to be most of the time Crimson Fist or Howling Griffin.
Yeah.
Or you could keep going with the chapter you used for your Blade Guard tutorial, the Brazen Claws.
Yeah, that's an option, yeah.
And I'm definitely not biased because I was the one that told you to paint it Brazen Claws.
Was that on your suggestion? Yeah.
I think I was one of like 2 people that put it down, yeah. Because I remember on Patreon you were looking for recommendations and everybody was kind of doing it. I was like, what's a chapter I hardly ever see? Like a supposed to be big, you know, second pounding chapter or whatever that I hardly ever see anybody paint ever. And I was like, Brazen Claws, because it's quartered. Not only is it quartered, because people do quartered patterns, they're going to go straight to Howling Griffins.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting there, quartered patterns. Brazen Claws. Nobody ever does this because it's dark blue, dark red.
Yeah. No, I had fun with that. I mean, I still have them sitting on my desk. Here he is.
I would say one of those 3.
I'd do more, but I don't feel like freehanding that logo a whole bunch of times.
On they're little planes. You don't have to put logos on them.
You kind of have to.
You kind of. Nah. Don't got it.
I don't know. My OCD starts to kick in at some point, and
I guess you could do Crimson Fists.
I could
Dark blue and freehand a little fist.
freehand a fist. That's a sentence.
Apparently you gotta paint the symbols. I mean, you could do the toilet bowl squad, but everybody on Twitter has probably already painted theirs Ultramarines, so.
What's Toilet Bowl Squad?
Ultramarines. Because the Omega.
Oh, it looks like a damn toilet seat. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I get you. I'm not really with it, so I only play one on TV.
I only play a cool kid on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I've upset the one Ultramarine player in your chat by calling him the I mean, if it's any recompense, I'm trying to paint a company of Ultramarines by March for McCray. So I thought that'd be a little fun. So I have a bunch of like random like Space Marines just kind of laying about from boxes that I bought for the bits or for like certain models in the boxes. I thought it'd be a fun way because I'm painting a Laytok and they share the same exact blue color palette as Ultramarines. So I was like, get rid of all of these random Space Marines I have to get that are unpainted scattered throughout the house. Paint them as your own chapter, your custom chapter.
That was another thought as well. Just paint them up like that, kind of the red. But I was thinking, like the Crimson Fist, or not the Crimson Fist, fucking Howling Griffins. I think that's a good one too, though.
Because I've never seen anybody quarter the vehicles. Well, let me rephrase that. I've seen like one or two people who actually have like Howling Griffin armies quarter their vehicles. But as far as like people just posting crap on Twitter for likes and advertising, their service, I haven't seen anybody paint Howling Griffin vehicles. Definitely not Brazen Claw vehicles either. I haven't seen quartered pattern vehicles at all. At most, I've seen the Space Marine chapters that have like the half, where they're cut down the middle, two different colors. I've seen a couple of those, but
the bifurcated.
Yeah,
Fancy words.
Fancy words.
Where are my nice comments here? Kim, I have all the Nostalgia 88 line from War Colors, and the colors are spot on tone for the Citadel line from 88. I even did back Redgrass Games Kickstarter for the new V2 palette from them. Should show up in the next month. Then Kim says,
"Dude, I do hope you like that V2 palette."
Why? What's the difference with the V2?
I don't know.
Oh.
I hope whatever it is, though, you like. I since they came out that first red palette or wet palette, I said red palette, wet palette. I haven't really paid attention. I was like, ooh, travel wet palette, and then I saw the price, and I was like, not for me. You got one.
I've got one.
Oh, you know what his face, like not his mouth, but his eyes and his nose look like? It looks like that face you can make with the punctuation marks on your keyboard. I forget there's a name for that face. Kinda makes it even better.
I love it. It's great. It's everything I wanted. He's small, but I mean any bigger and he'd be annoying.
Like lore-wise, aren't they about that big? Maybe a little bit bigger.
Sure. It'd be as long as they're small.
There are a lot of pictures where they're crawling around inside, like Plague Marine guts and shit.
Yeah. This guy would be the size of hanging in your belly kind of thing, right? And hanging out.
And now you only need 100 more to throw them in your bathtub and roll around.
Yeah.
It is a bit bigger and has a silicone lid instead of the reusable membrane. Okay. It is a true upgrade, I guess you could say. So a true V2, not just like, oh, we changed something slightly different. That doesn't really matter.
Oh, he's talking about the V2, right?
Yeah.
Bigger silicone lid, reusable membrane sheets that can wash the paint and use like 6 to 10 times. Interesting.
If you're really painting, that might save you money. over like wax buying, going to the store and going through like rolls of wax paper.
Yeah, I guess.
Depending on how much those sheets cost.
Who's joining us? Who goes there? Who's that stumbling around in the dark? Oh, Barfing Sheep. There he is.
Oh, yes, yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me? Is it working?
Hello.
Hello?
I'm messing with you.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, right. I forgot he's an asshole.
No, we didn't forget. We would just figure this one time.
Yeah, this one time he wouldn't be an asshole. We were wrong. How's the Barfing Sheep doing today?
Pretty good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. All the things I was supposed to do today was cancelled, so I got a day off.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, today was a good thing.
Well then, sweet.
Yeah. Is this sensitivity thing working? I'm checking my levels.
Should always check your levels.
Yeah, Chris, I'm doing a dojo floor for this Muay Thai.
Oh, no, I just had another idea, though. What if you went with a wood dojo floor? Just to change it up a bit.
Yeah, but what kind of wood?
Maple. Oi, who dat?
I was really hoping you would have said something like planks.
Planks?
Yeah, because that's what, floorboards are wood planks.
Oh.
Just to keep going with this smart ass.
Oh.
Do I want to sculpt it with green stuff, or do I want to spend money and buy a whole bunch, like buy a pack of MDF, four tiles and only ever use one? And then...
Well, okay, here's a couple ideas, right off the top of my head. You could green stuff, see if there is any, like Green Stuff World, see if they have a roller for it. I'm sure they do. You could also, like popsicle sticks. Those small little planks
I was thinking about that, but they'd have to be very small popsicle sticks.
Yeah. There's also, what's another one? The coffee stirrers? You buy the boxes of them, the wooden ones.
That might work. Coffee stirrers might work.
Yeah.
Because if I do that, I'm either gonna, because I wouldn't buy the roller from Green Stuff World. The rollers are neat, but I would just take a pen, flatten the green stuff out, trim it so it's in the base, and then I would just take a knife and sculpt the lines and stuff in it.
Or you could do that.
Only because I'm cheap, but I might do the coffees.
Coffee stirrers, yeah. I used those one time for a project. I was using it for siding on a, I don't know what the proper term is, but you see them in fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy. They often do that for the Imperial cities. They're often like that Bavarian style house with the wood trim and the cross beams and everything.
Little medieval architecture.
Yeah, I don't know what the proper term for that is. I'm sure many Bavarians out there could probably enlighten me on that one, but yeah.
I don't know what the specific wood thing is called, but I do know they call it whitewash. For a whitewashed building.
Alright, so...
Oh, really?
Just, the only thing I could find on what it's called is, a regional variation of the farmhouse. And it's called chalet.
A chalet, yeah. Now, isn't chalet French?
Bower house.
Bauhaus?
They don't really have a name. They don't really have a name for that style of architecture. I guess just over there, because it's so common. I guess they just called it house, like farmhouse.
Yeah, because I've always associated it with the medieval you know, the fantasy type of housing. You know, you see it in like Lord of the Rings movies. You see it in all that kind of medieval type of stuff, right?
That type of architecture is very regional, but I'm guessing since it's regional to Europe and like Central Europe, and they just kind of call it farmhouse.
Right.
Because it seems weird to us, but then we have to remember that as far as like it goes, I guess, building like houses in that style. I don't know. It's newer, I guess, newer over here.
Yeah, like we see it as a style, whereas that was just simply how it was done.
How they did it.
Yeah. Europeans are funny.
There is brick Gothic has to do with bricks.
Are they all black? The bricks.
It took me a while.
No, I got it.
Come on,
I was actually looking to find a picture of brick Gothic to see if like
they were black.
Chris's like smart aleck comment was like actually true and it was all black. Because there's weird stuff like that.
I know, it was such a crap joke.
You don't really have a name for it. Like if you go into like architectural websites, they just classify it as farmhouse.
Now, see, I've always known it as Bavarian.
Because that's where like my family comes from.
Well, I'm sorry, I talked over you. What was that?
Oh, my family came from there, so when they built the farmhouse over here, it looks just like that. Like that architecture.
Right.
Where it's like the white with the crossed wood.
Yeah, it's got the cross beams and everything, and yeah.
That's what when they came over, that's what the farmhouse looked like.
I just like, I mean, you know, being a North American, I mean, I just assumed everybody in Europe lived in those kind of houses.
No, I mean there is definitely regional architecture, but I guess it's just like that was so common and prevalent in like medieval time, like forward, that they just didn't come up with a name for it. I guess just like this is how we've done this for generations.
Yeah.
We don't have those.
No?
No.
It seems to be more like a Central European thing.
Yeah. We had log cabins. I mean, we still do. But that was like the prevailing house was like log cabins. And then after a while, the cities got massive brick buildings.
Right.
Architecture is fun, man.
It is. I've always had an appreciation for it. When I was a younger fella, I had considered pursuing it. Why I didn't, I could not tell you. Oh, right, because there was no women in it.
Right. Okay, so I guess the closest thing to a type of like name I've found is a timber framed house.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Closest thing.
That makes sense.
Or high Metschutz architecture. Oh, it's
Homeland.
Homeland Security style.
Homeland Security style. Jeez Louise.
What kind of architecture? Homeland Security style. Okay, so it's not as much of the Oh, okay, that is not the okay. That the Homeland Security architecture had to do with fighting 2 world wars and trying to build houses with limited resources. Okay. Yeah, but no, the closest thing I found is timber framed house.
Yeah, like I've often called them like a Bavarian style because whenever I've seen pictures from like old places like in Germany and stuff like that, that often has that style, right? And in Warhammer Fantasy, it seems like the Empire is
They were heavily Germanic based.
yeah, it has a very German feel to it all.
Because their names, fact that their big two-handed swords were based off of the lance neck swords, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because then you get over to Bretonia, with the name Bretonia and having a theme around Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, all that stuff. You would think they would be English knights. No,
Yeah.
they're French.
Yeah.
They have a King Louis. They're French.
Yeah. But I mean, to chuck a bit of shade, GW is not very consistent in that regards, are they?
With some things, yeah, they've been pretty consistent on that. At least what the Empire in Fantasy was, they were pretty consistent on. I think that's because they've super heavily based that on like a real world counterpart that they just didn't deviate because everything was there. But I always found that interesting when I first got into Warhammer Fantasy, learning about Bretonia. I thought they were going to be British knights. I thought there was going to... I mean, there are, King Arthur, Knights Round Table references with like the Green Knight and stuff. But I thought the references, aside from the Green Knight and looking for like a Holy Grail, I thought, there'd be more like references, heavily like referencing, some of the knights. No, they're all French. King Louis.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well. I had some cool models, though. Like the Pegasus Knights, I thought were cool. So I thought they were unique enough. Everybody's done Knights. And everybody's done Pegasus minis. But nobody's thought to, put the two together.
I like Bretonians. Bretonians are my favorite fantasy army.
I like them, but at the end of the day, most of the models were just kind of knights.
Yes, yeah.
Generic, I guess you could say.
But I dug that. I mean, it was,
Well, no, I'm not knocking, like, the aesthetic. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day.
Which day?
The day, GW decided they didn't want Bretonia anymore.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see if they bring them back, but who knows, right?
I have the inkling that the fact that they were heavily based on just generic knights might have been their downfall.
Probably. Yeah.
Because if you look at what stuff they kept over from Fantasy, tended to be more unique stuff.
Stuff that they made, yeah. Or was of their own creation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I think my first models were Bretonians.
But there is a silver lining to all this, is if you really want to play with Bretonians, you can find an army book, because they never left paperback, so there were zillions of them out there. So you can get an army book, you can get an 8th edition, or a couple editions back, so I think that paperback was like a 5th edition rule book.
Yeah, the one with
you
the...
get a fantasy rule book and the army book, because they're floating out there, because the paperback books, were printed so many times.
Yeah.
And you can bring Bretonia back to life, because their saving grace, or what is letting them continue to survive in like the communities that still play like fantasy, is the fact they are pretty much generic knights, and everybody who makes models makes generic knights.
What were you saying, Barfing?
Oh, my first models ever were Bretonnian bowmen.
Oh yeah.
And there was the starter kit.
Yeah, they were the all the single pose.
Yep.
Yeah, I still have a whole bunch of them. I used to really like them because I started playing fantasy in fifth. I was always aware of fantasy, but I had no real interest in it until the Bretonians came out, and I picked up the 2-player Lizardman Bretonian box. I like Bretonian knights. You know, just very very colorful. You know, they're knights, they're chivalry. You know, there's so many things to like about them.
Oh no, I like them. I'm just saying, like, I guess their downfall and I guess their saving grace as far as like people playing Old Hammer is the fact that they were generic knights, so you can still find
Yeah.
stuff that kind of looks like them. Whereas if you're a if you were a Tomb Kings player trying to play Old Hammer, good luck. Not many people. I mean, a lot of people do zombies, and a lot of people do mummies. Not a lot of people do undead Egyptian mummies with swords and spears and stuff.
Right. Even then, that doesn't feel like something that could be copyrighted properly, no?
I don't think so. I don't think that could be easy copy. It's just that I don't think anybody. I don't think there's a huge market for those kinds of minis. Otherwise, a lot of other miniature companies would be making a lot of those minis.
Right.
Even Mantic, they came out with a line that was Tomb King-esque, but they never really expanded too much on it.
Yeah.
They put out like a handful of kits, and that's all they ever put out so far for them. Which is a shame because I mean it is somewhat unique, I guess, in fantasy, undead Egyptians, even though it's a trope used a lot in Hollywood. As far as like miniatures go, it's not used too often.
Right.
What was really crazy though is I was putting together an army for Old Hammer slash Mantic or not Mantic Kings of War, and it's Egyptian High Elf.
Egyptian high elves?
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Well, Egyptian elves, I guess, but because they can go. They made standard models for high elves, and dark elves, and wood elves, but and I went in on that because nobody's really done Egyptian elves before. In fact, I actually have painted up a few. I could probably take a picture, put them in Discord for Saturday or something. Or
Please
post
do.
them up for Saturday.
Please do. Because, come on, sharing is caring.
But what if you don't care?
Then you don't share.
Then you don't share at all. Oh, okay.
Come on, man. I'm laying pink down on the end of his tail here just to create this gradient of color for like all the little needles that are part of his tail. I still don't know what I'm painting those needles.
You know what was a cool undead line that somebody did in the last couple of years? Undead halflings.
Who the hell did undead halflings?
TT Combat.
Oh yeah. Oh, for like that Blood Bowl game?
No, like an actual stand-in for fantasy / rank, like for rank and file stuff. They made a whole bunch of undead halflings. They made zombie halflings, ghoul halflings, halfling mummies, halfling knights, like undead knights, halfling ghosts. They even did a halfling vampire.
That's kind
of gods.
That's funny.
Mm. They're the people that made the Egyptian elf.
There's some sort of sadist, masochist kind of vibe I've got, where I'd like to see a halfling 40k army.
I don't know what. I guess you could use. I'm trying to think what you could use for bodies. I guess those dwarves that they still make for cities, the heavily armored ones, and I guess you could like switch out the heads with like the halfling blood bowl team guys.
They're a bit big.
Oh, those dwarves are a bit big.
I think so.
Okay. Then forget my idea.
Well, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if they are the size I'm thinking they are, but yeah. I mean, you might be right. I don't know.
I was just guessing.
But yeah, because the halfling 40k army would be hilarious.
I mean, they already have the ratlings for guard, so you wouldn't have to go too far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
For justifying them in the lore, because they're already in there.
Yeah. Well, Beastmen used to be part of the Imperial Guard army.
Now they're chaos.
Yeah. And like, you know, why did the Beastmen get thrown over to chaos, and yet the halflings and ogres and dwarves made it to the Imperial Guard?
Because they don't look human enough. That's why.
So the Imperium's got a serious discrimination problem.
I mean, Chris. In case you didn't know. The Imperium is waging a war across the galaxy against everybody who doesn't look like a human.
True.
So...
True. So it's a bit of a PR disaster.
I'm not saying they've been a motivating factor for them giving, Beastmen the boot out of the Imperium, but...
The boot?
Yeah. But I'm saying it's probably the reason why the Imperium gave Beastmen the boot, and why they're now chaos.
The boot?
Yeah, the boot.
It's all
the boot or Das Boot?
Das Boot?
Das Boot. Das Boot. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, Beer Fest, yeah. Classic. It's such a dumb movie.
It is.
But it's great.
But the dumb movies make the best movies. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they are just completely dumb and horrible, but...
You know, it's so much fun just laying in this color like this. Kind of just feeling your way around. Feeling.
Does it feel right?
Yeah, putting
feeling your way around.
I was gonna make a joke, but better not.
Why not, Chris? Why not?
Well, I was just about to say, it's like, being at an orgy for the first time. You just got to feel your way around.
Family? Nope, I don't think you ever said this was a family show.
Oh, I've never claimed to be family friendly.
Yeah, no. So I can't even make that joke.
No.
Family friendly.
Yeah, nope.
You know what's one game I want to play?
Squid Game.
No. I don't even care about the show. But no, I wouldn't want to play in Squid Game. is I want to play Carnivale, which is like the Renaissance skirmish game where you can like run across walls and like jump on the little like boats in the Venetian
Like Assassin's Creed.
yeah, it's like Assassin's Creed almost. But you can be like a you can have like a little skirmish force of like court jesters doing it.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. They even have ostrich riders. They're just little like
Ostriches?
jester like street performers riding ostriches. And they have like these little like makeshift hammers on little chains.
That sounds actually kind of cool. Because from like a painting standpoint, I mean, that sounds like something you could have a lot of fun with painting.
Yeah, although it's nice because it's based on Venice and kind of I guess just post would it be Renaissance or just be post period, like Leonardo and stuff like that era, like
right.
all the fancy dresses. So it's like Renaissance Venice. So you can play around with just even like if you do your gang as like normal like nobles or normal like workers, you can be as colorful as you want. As far as like, you know, coloring like what color clothes they're wearing.
Ooh, rich peasants.
Yeah. Because the various factions, there's the guild, which is like the workers, like butchers, stuff like that, and then there is a faction specifically for the nobles. There's one that's doctors, and they're all plague doctors, but they're all like evil. There's a Strigoi, which is vampires. There's a Cthulhu cult, or not Cthulhu. What's the other god?
Which one?
Dagon. That's it. There's a cult of Dagon with like fish people.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, but in the game, like you can like jump off of walls onto like I think they're what are the little boats called? I think gondolas or something. Gondolas, yeah. You can jump onto the gondola and then like onto the other side of the canal and stuff. Always kind of wanted to play it again.
Well, do it, man.
I might, because a faction starter set's not that much, and it's 5 models. I don't know what faction I want. I want to be vampires. Do I want to be nothing but court jesters riding ostriches?
I choose that.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It sounds like a good opportunity for hilarity.
Hilarity will ensue.
Yeah.
Doctors. Like the doctors are all like plague doctors and stuff. But,
you could get those and make them like rainbow colored.
Could. You can. Where is Matt when you need him? Because he'll like this game. Because you could be the Vatican.
Good God.
Throw in the Catholic Church and Matt's there.
Jeepers.
What is this game and where do you get it?
It is Carnivale and it's on TT Combat. If you want to look at it. Pretty crazy.
Is it
even?
Is it like a model game?
It's a skirmish game.
Oh, it's Eldari. I thought it was Matt.
I was gonna laugh. I was about to go, see, Chris, you mentioned the Catholic Church? He's here.
Yeah. It's like Beetlejuice.
I looked up the Pope the other day, apropos of nothing.
We thought it was a Beetlejuice moment.
Who were you trying to summon?
Matt.
Monkey.
Matt.
Oof.
Well, we
Well-
weren't trying to summon. I was explaining the various factions in Carnivale, and I was like, oh, there's even the Vatican. It was like, well, I just summon Matt because we mentioned the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I probably would have summoned Matt, but no, you got me instead. Take from that what you will.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Jeez.
Ha! Boom! Roasted. He's
Ritual.
not here to defend himself.
We gotta up our ritual game.
Yeah.
If we have to summon the right person. Let's see, I'm googling Carnivale.
I can just I'll post the link in the...
Yeah, don't be confused by the Brazilian event.
Or family history at Ancestry. Wow.
I'll put it, I guess, in general. Just the link to the website, minis, so I put the link in general.
Well done, Private.
I think I default. Nope, it's just the game page. Okay, I was about to say I think I accidentally posted a faction, but
What's that? Which one are the Vatican people?
on the side there should be a tab that says faction, and then you just hit the Vatican and it filters everything.
Oh, it's actually the Vatican.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Is it bad
The Vatican
that I already-
starter gang.
Is it bad that I already know which mini of these Matt probably likes the most?
I'm guessing which Vatican mini he likes.
Yeah. It's definitely not the one where it's a big knight with a giant, like, Scorpio crossbow and having a little kid hold it up.
See him. Steady now, child.
There's actually two of them. There's one in the starter set. But,
Oh.
what's nice
Cool.
is that the starter set that they make for it, which is currently out of stock, but it gives you a game board and it gives you a lot of like those like paper cardboard houses to like, you know, run up and jump off of and stuff.
Oh, these actually look pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm getting the starter gang.
For the back.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna get fish people or anything?
No, I'm gonna paint Papa Emeritus
I mean, if you were like, these are great for D
for
and
the
D.
Cardinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
there's
cool.
a lot of like, just buying one model, like, you could use for a lot of things.
Isn't
Yeah,
there a
they
Pope?
seem to have a lot of utility. I like that.
The closest thing to a pope is
It's the
single
cardinal.
miniature. That looks like cardinal, yeah.
Yeah, but I want the kid with the sense. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, there's a little altar boys in every pack. Oh my god,
Oh my God.
this is gold.
Dear God.
I just like the terminology, the Vatican starter gang.
Hold
It
my
just
eye.
rolls off the tongue.
I want to be honest. Like, I like the Rashar, the Cult of Dagon. I mean, the Guild's cool, Patrician's cool, Doctor's cool, but the vampires are also pretty cool. That's true, boy.
I'm getting the starter gang.
Like, they have a vampiric aristocracy, and one of the aristocrats is just a very big vampire. Like, big, like Hulk big.
Yeah, some of these are fun. Like, I actually really like the Doctor's single miniature.
The single miniature, if you click on it, it actually shows you all the single minis you can buy.
Yeah, it's the traditional looking like Doctor with the
Yeah,
shadows.
the traditional plague vampire.
Yeah.
So Zach, what are you up to?
I'm about to paint.
Nice. What you painting?
Black Doctor. More stuff from Infinity.
Oh. Yeah, I noticed you've been on a real Infinity kick.
Yeah, well, they came up with a new starter set, and that my brother and I split. So
It's a shame that your brother's playing a better faction.
the better faction says him who keeps losing. Ha ha! Superior tactical genius. I actually kind of miss that Ariadne doesn't have as much people in kilts. So.
But
That's why I was
calls
calling that.
Because the Ariadne Force and the new starter set is like the Space Force.
Yeah, exactly. The Cosmoflot is
The Space
and
Force.
it's Space Force.
Yeah, I'm
Not
painting.
like Space Cops, but Space Force.
Yeah, because Space Cops are O12.
Yeah.
But so I'm painting the Cosmosobots as a Cosmonauts.
I love that.
It's like just can't not do this because of their name.
I'm also thinking of picking up the Japanese secessionist army or sectorial army.
Yeah,
There's,
their own thing now. So,
Yeah, my local game store has like a box, and that's technically out of production now. So
Yeah, because they split it up into because no longer Succession Force, because in the campaign they successfully succeeded.
yeah,
Or
they're
seceded. I'm sorry, they're their own faction now. So.
which is dope. So now I'm about to paint a tiny robot with bunny ears and bat wings.
Which
Nice.
is something I like about Infinity. Is their campaigns have a somewhat of an influence over like the lore.
Yeah, I mean the nice thing about it is like the universe they've created, like it lets them move the plot forward without having to like sacrifice anything. Because they have William Wallace. You don't need to sacrifice shit when you've got William Wallace.
I have him. I have to put him together because I got the new starter set. So I play
the new one?
Ariadne. I play Ariadne, so I got the new starter set, and then I got the expansion box for it that has him in it.
Yeah, so I've got that one as well. I got the second one with the doctor and the engineer, and then I'm also getting the third one, which is the little robots.
Robots?
Robots. Sputnik robots. Yeah, it's just for me right now, it's easier to get a game of Infinity in than it is to get a game of Warhammer, and I don't particularly feel like playing my Eldar.
Why not?
Because they're not so good right now. They're not the best. And I don't need them to be the best. I just don't want to keep playing the same units over and over and over again.
Gotcha.
And I got tired of painting my Lumina, so here we are. Because right now, I'm about to paint Billy and a little robot.
Oh, I ordered the Vatican starter gang.
Nice.
And I'm pondering what kind of offensive paint schemes can we put on them.
What have I done?
I would suggest rainbow.
Right, well, the cardinal is obviously going to be ghost inspired, like the band.
I said
Rest of the guys
do
are.
full on pride colors. That'll be offensive.
And then when you, I was gonna say, then when you post it in Discord, specifically tag Matt. I'm just kidding.
Specifically upsetty spaghetti. Chris, that is looking mighty fleshy.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the head with the rest of this. So it's a bit of a lengthy process, but it's fun. And it yields an interesting look. I don't know if you saw what I had done on the head, but yeah, I've got it on camera right now.
Yeah.
So that's how the flesh is gonna go.
Right.
It has
That
this.
was awesome.
It has a bit of like an undead feeling, but I don't want it to feel undead or necrotic.
Yeah. I see what you mean. To me, it feels. I think there's enough like warm tones in it that it doesn't feel like death.
Yeah.
You're getting like. Yeah, it looks. I mean, it is from the realm of beasts. It goes without saying that it looks like a beast, but like it looks like a she looks like a damn boy.
It looks like it needs some more vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From whatever pit the orcs pulled it up, or whatever they're called now.
If I remember correctly, that's what you were going for. Is like that albino kind of like look.
Albino gator pig.
Yeah. Gator pig.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the thing is called by now.
I forgot what I called it.
It's SkumDrekk.
Well, I know what it's. Sludge Raker is like what the monsters like species is, but I'm trying to remember. I had a name for it and I forgot what I called it. Like something with like a swamp sloth, maybe is what I called it.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Really should probably go out and actually prime right now. It's actually really nice weather out.
You don't prime with your airbrush?
I don't have an airbrush.
I thought you did.
No, I don't have one.
My bad.
Or else, yes, I would be priming with my airbrush.
I was like, you don't have an airbrush.
Absolutely.
You have an airbrush. Like, I don't have one. I was like, oh, I thought you did.
Don't get me wrong, I would love one, and I think if Badger has another birthday sale this year, I'm gonna buy the airbrush and just wait to get a compressor and everything else later.
Yeah. You could always do that.
Like I do want one, and like I mean, if I don't and I don't use it, I can just resell it and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't resell it, but yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not resell.
No, I think once you start,
tired.
once you start getting into the airbrushing, I think you'll stick with it.
Yeah, that's what I think too. It's just I just don't really have like good space for an airbrush and a compressor right now.
Yeah.
Just the way my office is set up.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Space being a premium, but I think if I move to potentially moving next year, like next November, and we checked out the place, and that might actually be like enough space to have an airbrush and like a compressor and like have decent ventilation too, so I don't inhale paint fumes. I hear that's good for you, right?
It's worked for me fabulously.
Perfect.
As long as it's not lacquer based, you should be fine.
Well, I mean, breathing in the dust and everything like that, even water-based acrylics is not good, but it's not gonna.
If it's lacquer is the one that kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm only using acrylics. I'm not going to end up using lacquer. I doubt it. But
shoot. Forgot what brand. Somebody makes like it almost looks like a hot glue gun, but it's an airbrush, and I think it might be AK Interactive. I'm not, or somebody they partnered with. It looks like a hot glue gun, and then you charge it by filling this paint like vial pot thing, and you stick it in the back of the like airbrush gun thing. And I've seen people use that for like priming. Colin might know what I'm talking about.
oh, he definitely knows. That guy knows literally every painting product on the market. It's not a bad thing. He's got like an encyclopedic knowledge and literally everything you could buy.
It's like a either like a heavy thick plastic or like a glass like Citadel pot basically with like this nozzle on it, and you have
Right back.
You have the spray gun because I'm not sure it quite qualifies as an airbrush, and then you just stick the vial in there, and I think Mig came out with like the one-shot primer to go with this. It looked neat.
Oh, I think I know
which
which
one.
one.
Like a solution for people with not a lot of like space because it's the size of a hot glue gun.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
Como probably knows. Probably like I have one. He's like Batman but with paint products. Do you go out at night and fight crime with like paint pools? Are you Batman?
Are you Batman?
Are you Batman? Oh.
Just picturing Batman painting miniatures.
Well, it shouldn't be too hard. You can picture Superman doing it, no?
Yeah. We should do the interaction.
Yeah.
Alfred, stupid shade.
You need to thin your paints.
Alfred, I knocked over my Agrax.
Kim, I don't have one, but I looked at that airbrush and I don't have a good impression of it. But yes, I'm Batman.
Well, it's more like a spray gun, isn't it? I thought like Big or whoever came out with it basically came out with it for like priming or whatever. But yes, I am Batman. That was my impression of it. I never bought one because I have an airbrush and space to airbrush in, so I don't need a spray gun to prime with. But
I figured out that the Tamiya paints and Citadel paints not the best mix.
No.
On the same model.
No. Not mixing them together.
No, as in the finish and. Or I just fucked up. Just honestly.
No, like they're two different acrylic paints.
Yeah.
The Tamiya, I have not had any trouble having Tamiya sit on top of water-based acrylic, or vice versa. And in fact, I have had water-based acrylic paints sit on top of Tamiya paints very nicely. But as far as mixing them, no, they don't mix very well because they're two different acrylics, right?
Yeah. No, I was thinking the difference in finish, the matte and gloss.
Oh, well, you can always apply a gloss or a matte on top of it, and it should sit on top of them just fine.
I found what I was talking about. It's called the Sparmax Flyer.
Oh.
And it looks like a hot glue gun.
Oh, I used a Sparmax, but not that one.
And when I saw this, I was like, "Oh, this looks like a neat." I haven't tried it, but it looks like a neat solution for people who still use air cans to prime with.
Yeah.
Or rattle cans, I mean.
Yeah, it's a solution. Is it the best solution? I don't know. It's debatable.
I'd have to buy one. They're like, I might buy one in the future and just see how they. There's like a sale.
Yeah.
So see how it works for just priming. Because every time I prime with my airbrush, I have to sit there and set it up for it. And if this could prime just as well as my 105, I could just take the needle I have for priming in the 105, take it out, put in the normal paint one, and just have that set up to run like base coats and stuff. Because I'm lazy. And I could just sit there and, play with my pressures and, pull needles out, change them, quick QD mount everything, but I'm lazy.
Progress comes from the desire to be lazy.
So I might put this on like a watch list and see if it goes on sale.
All right, I'm still at a loss to what to do these little spikes that hang down from this guy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do them like the spikes on his head, or like quills or something. But I guess you're changing your mind.
Yeah, well, because like as I push contrast and everything like that, like contrast the actual values, not the paint. I can start to see like the overall impression, and I mean like the head doesn't quite have those quills, and I did the spikes coming out of his jaw, similar to how the teeth are done. And I'm probably going to do the toenails and the fingernails the same way as these things, but the little dangly bits that come down from like his belly and on the end of his tail and everything like that, I'm just not 100% sure.
Well, porcupine quills are kind of like banded in color.
Yeah, they have like black ends to them and white roots, and then sometimes other colors, in between.
Like white like bands going down them and stuff.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Like just little dark ends on each of the quills.
Mm-hmm.
Treat them like quills, maybe. Yeah, because like this really looks like a porcupine's tail or something. I'm still feeling it though.
Since we're on the subject of quills, I wonder if the quills on hedgehogs are really defensive, because I mean I've seen like animals get poked with the porcupine quills, but I've seen people pet hedgehogs.
Because you go with the grain.
Oh, you go with the grain.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
like
if
even
the hedgehog quills just are like ow, or if they're like the porcupine ones where it's like ow and they stick in you.
Yeah, no, I've seen people pet porcupines with their quills. And
hedgehogs don't have barbs on the end of the quills.
Oh, okay. They don't. Okay.
Yeah, and so I've seen them pet, and it's not like you go like shake them and good boy, it's.
You don't pick them up and like.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Because I never really knew if like the hedgehog like quills that they have on their back are kind of just there to be like rough hair, or if they actually stick and stuff. But
oh yeah, no, they're
defensive.
That they are defensive, but they're not like barbed or like porcupine ones.
Yeah.
Yes, porcupines, they swat at you, don't they?
Porcupines? It used to be like widely believed that porcupines could throw their quills. They don't really.
Oh, they smack you with their tail.
Yeah.
They smack you and
Or
their
bump
quills
you.
kind of like come off.
Yeah, like when they're relaxed, their quills go into formation. But when they're aggravated or defending themselves, they fluff. You know how, like, have you ever seen like a dog or a cat? You know how like their hair spikes? Well, that's essentially what porcupines do, except their whole body kind of does it. And so basically anything coming after them that tries to bite them, they often will keep like their backside towards the danger. And so if anything comes to bite at it, they'll get a good mouthful of quills, and they're covered in quills. Like there's, man, I mean, I've had 2 or 3 dogs have to get, well, one had to get put down from the quills. But yeah, and it is painful for the dog, and you can't leave them in either because they will work their way in further into the animal that they penetrate. And so like dogs, yeah, you have to get them pulled right away.
I did not know they worked their way in.
Yeah. Now I don't know if they do it on their own or if it's just simply the dog
moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Because it's so barbed.
Yeah. Because yeah, any time that there's pressure on the end of it, right, and it works its way in, it stays, right? It doesn't come out because it's barbed. But yeah.
If you look on the porcupine quills in a microscope, you see it looks like a pine tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, very much so.
Oh yeah, there's a picture of a poor little bulldog full of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
I'm in the weird side of internet now.
Well, and the thing is that, you know, the amount of quills in it looks like, holy man, that's ridiculous. Like his whole face is just covered in quills. And yet you don't notice a bald spot on the porcupine. The porcupine is not like, you know what I mean? Like imagine if something was repeatedly attacking. Yeah, it's usually one attack and, you know, everybody leaves the porcupine alone, right? And yeah, they have plenty more quills to come, you know, to replace whatever's lost.
Kind of like sharks in their teeth.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how fast they grow back, but yeah, they're just little buggers are just covered. And the thing is that porcupines are big. Like you think
It's like the big of like a Maine Coon cat.
they're almost small dog sized.
Yeah.
So about anywhere from probably 30 to 50 pounds. That's how big they get. At least in my parts, anyway.
Yeah, well, the North American porcupine, which is the ones that we would see a lot of, pretty big.
Yeah, they're big animals. Like, for a rodent, essentially. Because we also have, like, muskrats around here, which are pretty goddamn big. Beavers. They all tend to look alike in the woods.
Could go for some muskrat.
Eat some muskrat, yeah? You like muskrat?
They eat it down here. I haven't had it in a while.
Yeah. I don't know if
It's
I've...
my fruit choice. But...
I don't know if I've ever had it.
I'm going to go for some beaver.
Go for
Yummy.
Where I live, muskrat's like a regional delicacy.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're in the south, right?
Pretty darn close, yeah.
Yeah, you're in North Carolina or South Carolina?
Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. I thought you were in the Carolina.
We're technically south, but...
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Yeah. From what I understand, I don't think I've ever had muskrat, but from what I understand, yeah, they're pretty greasy little buggers. It's kind of like bear.
They're greasy.
Yeah, it's kind of like bear. Bear's the same way. Very greasy. It's good, but it's greasy.
Oh, it's probably greasy from all the fat content, right?
Yeah.
The thick boys.
Yeah. Yeah, because typically whenever you go after a bear, it's typically in the fall, and they're nice and plump in the fall.
It's eaten all of it, not ready for hibernation. It's at its most vulnerable.
But like we go after deer in the fall, and that's when obviously they're fattening up.
Antlers, you know, spike you.
But getting a deer in the winter, if you're lucky, they're really good as well in the winter because through the winter all they eat is like maple bark and maple tree, and their meat takes on that quality.
That sounds delicious.
It does.
It also sounds very Canadian in taste.
It does sound very Canadian, yeah. It does sound very north of the border.
Yeah, I don't.
I imagine it's a maple flavor to it.
I want my deer to taste like tree.
Yeah.
Less.
Yeah. Which is why probably a lot of people don't really dig moose. What were you saying, Hal?
I was just saying because you're saying like maple bark. I was just like, yeah, maple, very Canadian flavor.
Yeah, well, because they'll take on that sweet quality, right? Because they'll eat it right down to like the what is that underneath the bark? I can't remember what the hell that layer is called, but that's where the sap is, and they eat that. But like moose, that's why a lot of times people don't really like it. Moose for a lot of people is kind of hit and miss because, well, a moose's diet is primarily moss, and I mean, I've never really eaten moss, so I can't really say it tastes great, but yeah, moose is really good.
That a moose, it always gets me. Creatures like that big, like blue whales, moose, they don't eat meat. They just eat like the smallest of like vegetation.
Yeah.
And they're humongous.
Yeah.
In defense of like a blue whale, they are eating a lot of that very small stuff. Like a lot.
The plankton, right? Yeah.
Like they're eating like gazillions. That's fair.
Kim says mouse is very gamey in taste, but really good. Yes, mouse is. Or did you mean moose, Kim? I'm going to assume you meant moose, or mouse and moose. You know what? I've never eaten mouse. I don't know if I could, unless I was starving.
I think
in Norway, mouse is a slang for vagina.
You really like that plushie.
What?
So you really like that plushie.
Yeah, I do. He's fun.
Oh my god, just in every corner of the screen.
I love Nurglings, man. They're great. I mean, like, look at these little buggers, man. The only thing I wish is that they did more poses for them.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like some cholera?
It'd be nice if you could get accessories like the one that wears the hat or the helmet.
Oh yeah, get a little helmet for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if at that point we're just playing with Build-A-Bear at that point, and so.
When do we get the Potato Head brand Nurgling?
Potato Head.
That's the question. Yeah, like Mr. Potato Head, you can just customize your own Nurgling.
Oh, that's a fucking $1 million idea right there.
Someone tell GW before the stream gets copyright struck.
Yeah. What time we at here?
Copyright strike us and we'll give you this marketing idea.
Yeah.
GW, they'll take the marketing idea and hit us with the copyright.
and then copyright you in the end. It was always our idea. It's like that meme with the spaceman.
Yeah.
What are they going to copyright strike for? Saying Nurgling?
Yes. Joke. Are they really? No.
Alrighty, folks.
Joke about it? Yeah.
I'm we're at the 2-hour mark, and I can hear a bunch of commotion upstairs. So.
Oh no, Chris's first show back, and he's already finishing mildly on time.
Yeah.
Not going 2 hours of tea.
Well, I think what I'm gonna do. Oh, who bailed? Oh, that was Zach. As soon as I said I'm ending, he fucking bails. Nice. So anyway. I think what I'm gonna do from now on is I'm gonna stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with this, getting projects done, and then Saturday's Weigh the Brush as normal. Because I think what I'm gonna do is I think I like having the half the week where I can work on other videos. be them fun videos or tutorials. So I think basically I'm going to change it up a bit. I think I'm going to do Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays streaming this. So for everybody out there who, likes tuning in for this stuff, we're going to do them 3 days in a row kind of thing. What do you guys think?
So 3 days in a row instead of spaced out?
Yeah. Because that way, because basically it's kind of annoying, and I think that's why I haven't done much tutorial type videos, because I've been meaning to get it filmed. I just haven't, because it's kind of a pain setting up the camera and such, and then stream and then set the camera up again, and you know what I mean, like it's just versus stream for 3 days, well 4 days technically, and then do camera work for another 3. Nice, Zach. You fucking bail and then come back. What's up?
I do.
That's his MO.
Oh.
I
Okay.
came back. Hale hadn't tagged me. I wouldn't have come back. I would have been a ghost forever.
Yeah, because
I tagged him, and I tagged him because has everybody here seen Scary Movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I tagged Eldari and said, Eldari out quicker than Ghostface running from.
Yeah, I see. I see it now. Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Later, dude. All right. Barfing or Boop? Any last words of wisdom?
Shoot, what did we talk about today? Trying to make this related to what we talked about today. Shit.
We were talking about painting and beavers. So.
Painting and beavers. Shoot. I don't know. Only buy paint if it's pretty colors.
There we go. Barfing?
Yeah. Beaver tastes like saltwater moose.
Did you ever get an outro made for this show?
No, I never. I no, because there's an idea that my son wants to do, and so I think I'm gonna let him help me with the outro part of the show.
We're gonna get an outro video where it's you doing the Fortnite floss dance.
That could be it. No, actually, I was thinking of that for something else, but that Discord related. I've been working on something.
Actually thinking about doing the little dance, the floss dance.
Yeah. I'll probably throw out my hip doing that. Disco says adios. Kim says remember to shave your nuts. Very specific.
It says that every time.
Well, it's 6:09. I'm gonna go have myself some meatballs.
Yep. So, thanks for tuning in, folks, and I will see you all later.